Hello everyone, it's Mrs. Martinez with Martinez Art Lab, and today we are going to be looking at a pop art project, and we will be working in Google Drawings. So I'm getting started in my Google Drive, and the very first thing I'm going to do is click on the New button. When I click on the New button, I'm going to go to More and Google Drawings. When I get to my Google Drawings page, the very first thing I will do is click on Untitled Drawing. When it turns purple, I will type in the name of the project, and we are doing Pop Soup today, and then I'm going to type in my full name. When I click off to the side of my digital paper, you can see it says Save to Drive now, so everything I do is going to be saved to my drive. And when I need to find my page to turn it in or to work on it, I'm going to search for this name in my Google Drive. So let's get started. The very first thing I will do is go to File, and I'm going to go to Page Setup. Since we're doing a label for a soup can today, I'm going to change the size of my page. Right now it's just a standard default, so I'm going to go to Custom. And when I go to Custom, you can see it's 10 inches by 7.5 inches. If yours doesn't say inches, you can click on the drop down and change it to inches. So let's go ahead and we're going to keep it at 10 inches, but we're going to change it to 5 inches. So we're going to have 10 by 5 inches. Click Apply. And this is our label now. Actually, I'm going to go back and change it to 4. That looks just a little too big. So 10 by 4 inches, we'll click Apply. And this is going to be our soup can label. So very first thing we might want to do is add some type of background. I'm going to add a simple background. So just a reminder, all of the pictures up here are tools. When I click on them, I'm going to get my options. So I'm going to click on the shape tool here, and I will click on shapes and go to the very first one, which is a rectangle. When I see this plus sign cursor, I'm going to go to the left corner, click and drag until I take up the whole digital page and release. This is the background of my soup can label. So now I'm going to change the color. When this is selected, and you can tell it's selected because there's a blue box around it, if by some chance it is not selected, I will make sure this arrow, that's our select arrow, is blue, and click right on the shape. And then you see I've got these blue selections around. Now I have the option to change the color. The pencil is the border color. I usually want that to be transparent. That means there's no outline around my shape. It's clear. And then my fill color is, it kind of looks like a paint bucket spilling. I'm going to click that, and you can choose any color you want for this. Pop art, remember, is very bright and bold. So it's up to you. You can use bright, bold colors, or you can use light colors. Completely up to you what you choose for your color scheme. I'm going to go ahead and stick with bright and bold. So I'm going to pick a bright, whoa, that's a really bright purple. I'll click out to the side. Now, here's what I'm going to do. Since I'm making a soup can label, I'm going to draw a guide. So I'm going to click on this shape tool, and I'll click on my rectangle again. And you can see up here I've got a ruler. I'm going to be using this ruler as my guide. So there's 10 inches total to my image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take from the 4 to the 6. So how about 3.5 to 6.5? And I'm going to make my guide right here. So I'm just going to click and drag. And what that does is make a rectangle. I'll make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to go to the 3. And to do that, all I did was kind of hover my mouse over that blue square and drag it. So it's going from the 3 to the 7, and I'll click off to the side. Eventually, I will delete this. Maybe I'll leave it. But I'll click on this, and I'm going to change the color. So I'll change the border color to transparent. I'll change this color to, let's look at a color that will look nice with that purple. So right now I've got a teal and a purple going on. From this point, I'm going to decorate, or I hate to use the term decorate. I'm going to think of the elements of art, and I'm going to make my soup can look amazing. So keep in mind, this is a label that we'll print out and we'll put on a can. So if you need to, you can go to insert image, search the web, and we can use this as our guideline to just kind of look at. So I typed in Campbell's soup label, soup can label. Let's do it like that. Okay, so I'll search for that, and then I'm going to, and you can see actually, we'll click right on this. Somebody's done kind of a similar project. I'm going to insert that picture. I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to kind of make it smaller and move it to the side. I'll eventually delete that, but I want to see and have some inspiration for what I'm doing this. What we're going to be doing is we're not going to make a Campbell's tomato soup can, but we're going to use our last name instead of Campbell's. We're going to make a silly, different kind of soup name instead of tomato soup, but we can take inspiration from these colors. So first thing I'll do is use a text box. I'm going to click and drag to draw a text box for my last name. So it's going to be your full last name. I'm going to type in Martinez. I'm going to select that. And just like you're using in Word or any of the word processing programs, I'm going to click the drop down to change my font. I want a font that kind of looks like that Campbell's soup font, but I can really use anything. It's up to you guys and girls what you are going to choose for your font. So I will pick, I kind of like that font. So I'm going to leave that font, but I need to make that bold, and I also need to make my font size a lot bigger. I don't even think 24 is going to cut it. Let's keep that at maybe a little bit smaller. 48. Let's keep it at a size 48 font. It's going to vary a little depending on the kind of font you use, but about this size is what we're going for. Okay, now I'm going to move that text box up a little just to get my font up a little. And now I want to put the word condensed so that this looks like a real soup can. That's my goal, but we're going to have a different kind of soup name here. So I'm going to make a little text box down here. I'm going to put this all in caps and put the word condensed. I'm going to center it, and I'm going to find a font that looks like, oops, that did not get, there we go. All right, maybe I'll play around with my fonts a little and see. And you can feel free to use the same fonts that I am using, or you can use different fonts. It's completely up to you. I want you all to have fun on this project. All right. So I've got my last name. I've got the word condensed. I might eventually change some of these fonts. I don't know if I'm too much of a fan, but for now we're good. I do like how they have the different colors. So half of their rectangle is a different color. So let's go ahead and do that for the bottom. I'm going to click on my shape and rectangle, click on this. Remember, if I'm going too fast for you, you can pause, you can rewind this video and rewatch it as much as you need to. I just clicked and dragged to draw that rectangle. Before I do anything, I'm going to change that color. So we've got purple, we've got teal, and we're going to add in a bright yellow. So now we've got a really bright, bold soup can label going. Right now I've got black text. Let's change that black text to, let's see how green. Oh, we can't read that, so we're going to need to change it to something else. I think the blue looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and keep that blue. And now we're going to draw a circle. So we'll click back on that shape tab. We'll click circle, and we're going to try and get this centered. I am using my ruler up here kind of as my guide. And I'm drawing my circle, It's not centered, so I'm just gonna go right over it, click and drag until I see that red line that shows me it's centered. I'm going to change the border color to transparent, and I will change that color to, let's do black and see, not a fan. All right, let's do a dark purple. Okay, all right, so far my soup can is looking pretty good. I need to make this a little bigger. You can see I'm just kind of fine tuning things. And I think that this was the wrong choice for my font. I'm going to change that up too. So you can see you can do this anytime you're working. I could have saved this to the end and changed that font style, but it was bothering me. So I'm going to change it right now. That font's not working for me either. That's a little better. Okay, I just wanted something that took up a little more space so it wasn't so empty on the sides. Now we can move this down a little. And you can see when something's centered, you see that red line right here. So I like using that so I can see, make sure my soup label is balanced. Okay, so now I've got that. Now I'm going to pick out the kind of soup I want. You can change your soup to whatever silliness you'd like to. I'm going to do something that will make my kids giggle. So I'm going to draw a text box and I'm going to make some Gummy Bear soup. So I've got Gummy Bear soup. Now I need to select that text. I'm going to center it. I'm going to make the font size a lot bigger. And then I'm going to change the font style. So let's find a font. Since I made Gummy Bear soup, I think I'm going to, and I had to make the font style a little bit smaller. But since I made Gummy Bear soup, I chose a font that was kind of silly, and it was a finger painting font. So it kind of went with the style of my soup. You can see I'm just making a little bit of change here. Okay, and I will change the font color from black to, let's keep that. Yellow is going to be way too hard to see. Let's keep that a purple. There we go. So we've got a really bright label happening here. Now I need to go in and I need to get a gummy bear drawn in this soup label of mine. I made this circle a little bit bigger. I'm going to center it a little bit. Before I draw that label, I'm going to use my line tool to add some details to the top. There's a line going around the top of my soup can. I'm going to add some details at the bottom of my soup can as well. So I'll select my line tool. I'll select the straight line. I'm going to go to the left, all the way to the left of my page, and click and drag to make this straight line. The line is black right now. I want to change it to yellow. And I also want to change the weight of it. So I'm going to make that line thicker. Let's make it, that might be a little too thick. So let's change it to 8. And click my select tool, click off to the side. I don't need this picture anymore, so I'm going to delete it. And now I've got a really great soup label happening. I need to add some kind of detail to the bottom here. If I want, I can click. Let's do another line, actually. Click on my line. I will left click. Oops. If you get a line like that and it's selected, you see these arrows or these blue circles in the corner. I'm just going to click one and drag just to make, and click and drag to make my line take up the whole length of the soup label. And when I see this, kind of looks like a compass, I'm going to click and drag to bring my line down. I don't want a yellow line on this though. So I'm gonna click and make that teal. So my yellow matches the bottom, my teal matches the top. I could leave that as a line, or I could go in and turn it into some kind of pattern. So you can really, I want you to have fun with this. I want you to add your own style into this. So absolutely have fun. Let's go ahead and draw a bear. So it really is going to depend on your own, it's going to depend on what kind of soup you've chosen, but I can either choose to hand draw a bear, which would be my scribble line, or I can use my shapes. I'm going to use my shapes here to build up a bear. So I'm going to click the oval. And I know I'm going to have a circle for the face and the head. I'm going to use that oval again. And I know I'm going to have a circle for the body. See, we want it to look like a gummy bear here. So I'm going to kind of overlap them. And I'll change the colors after. If I want to make my shapes a little bigger, I just select them and use those boxes. Gummy bears are kind of short and squishy here. So let me change the style. Now I need to add more ovals for my feet. And I'm going to copy and paste that. And then I need to add ovals for my hands. So I just copied and pasted, and I'm using my keyboard to copy and paste. So I'm using my keyboard shortcut. I'm using that Control C and Control C and Control V. Okay, so there's the start of my gummy bear. I need ears. And I'm just copying and pasting my silly little gummy bear here. I'm going to eventually change the color too. All right, and now I'm going to draw little tiny gummy bear eyes. And I'm going to copy and paste that. It's so tiny that it's going to be hard to move. Let's make it bigger. Ugh, okay. That is one tiny gummy bear eye. All right. That's not gonna work either. All right. Let's copy and paste that. Try it one more time. Whew. All right. We're gonna have to try and match it up. I think I can make it happen. It's gonna be pretty good. No. Let's click off to the side. My gummy bear might have to have unmatching eyes, y'all. Okay, we'll click this. I'm going to take away the transparent, or I'm going to make the border color transparent. Those poor gummy bear eyes. All right, and I'm going to turn my gummy bear into a real gummy bear. So let's take away the outline on the head and the body. So I'll take away that outline, and let's make my gummy bear, we're going to turn them green. We're going to have a bright green gummy bear. So I'm keeping true to the pop art, bright, bold, crazy colors. I'm going to keep the outline on the hands, ears, and feet and change them black, or change them back to green. Maybe not the best gummy bear, y'all, but that's the gummy bear we're going with. So you can see this is my pop art label. You can absolutely add some more detail in here. This is what you have to have. You have to have your last name, your full last name, no nicknames, as the brand of the soup. You have to have the word condensed. You have to have your silly soup down here. So whatever the title of your soup is, whatever, and then the word soup. and then something to represent that. So in my case, I added a gummy bear. But whatever it is you're adding in, you're going to put that in. Add a detail to the top, a detail to the bottom, and then add whatever else you want to this can. So you can add more details as you would like to make them look. So I hope you have fun making your pop art soup can. Remember to stop and rewind this video as needed, and go have fun in Google Drawing.